Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV, in association with MTK Global. Delighted to be joined by Natasha Jonas. Tasha, how's things?
I'm good, I'm all right, thanks, I'm good.
I was down at your gym yesterday, Gallagher's gym yesterday. Unfortunately, you weren't there, but obviously you've got your priorities with your young daughter and stuff like that, being as the school holidays. So did you get up to anything fun with your wee one?
No, just spending some quality time together. I think, being busy doing a lot of things, training, camps and whatever. And, she's back in school. So it's like back to that routine of, rushing to get home, to get her to, have a little bit of time to get her, dressed, fed and in bed. But now it's the holidays and I've been doing some extra stuff. I just wanted to spend a little bit of time with just me and her. So that's what it is.
Quite right. Right. There's a reason why I wanted to have a chat with you is obviously your coach, Joe Gallagher, kicked up a little bit of a storm a couple of weeks ago in my interview with him, referenced you and stuff like that, and why you haven't got a fight, why you not got a fight date and stuff like that. So what was your thoughts when you saw Joe's interview? Obviously, there was a little bit of Twitter back and forth as well, but from fans and whatnot. So what was your initial reaction to all
that? Obviously, I agree with Joe. I don't think obviously he phoned me, to be fair, straight away after the initial interview and said, I said race, but I didn't mean to say that. And I knew from that minute on there was going to be some kind of backlash because, Joe's not everyone's cup of tea, I'll say. But he stands up for what he believes in, and as a fighter in his stable, he'll fight with us tooth and nail. So, I don't disagree with some of the things he says. It is what it is, and I think. I seen his latest video that you done yet on Wednesday, and I seen some of the comments on it with regards to my fight, and so I just want to put some of them comments straight. Can I do that?
Yeah, of course you can. Yes.
So I know me and Eddie had a back and forth on Twitter. I've been having a lot of Twitter beef with people lately, but one of the things was that Eddie gave me a world title shot, and I said no. That isn't the case. Eddie's very good with semantics, and he tells people a little bit of the story, which is true, but not the whole picture. So what happened was, me and Joe, after the Terri Harper fight, after we realised we weren't going to get the rematch because they'd insisted on having the mandatory, that me and Joe started to look at all the other champions. Hamadouche was obviously one of the champions, and I've beaten her twice before in the amateurs, and I know it's not the amateurs, but I'm confident, like I was with Terri Harper, that I can win. So we, as in me and Joe, discussed it. Joe was on side. I then spoke to MTK, and they went and spoke to Eddie. About 4 days later, Hamadouche gets announced as a matchroom fighter, and then Eddie was going back and forth to MTK with offers to fight Hamadouche. Now the offer was more than it was than Harper was, but the Harper was very low. And so when Eddie says, "Oh yeah, I offered her more than Harper," he did. That's the truth, but it's still a low offer, and especially considering if you know about women's boxing, Hamadouche is the most feared in the division. So by the time Eddie said the price, I said the price, Eddie said no to my price, and by the time he was going back and forth, by the time Eddie actually agreed with my initial price, then the Hamadouche fight was already taken off the table, and it wasn't going to happen on November the 14th. Instead, he said, right, that's not going to happen. We will, and I didn't even know this until I seen Twitter that he'd said Hardy. So then it was a back and forth about Hardy, and there was a bit of discussions about why we didn't want to fight Hardy and did we want to fight Hardy, and you know, it was Hardy or someone of her caliber. I was okay with that. But then came a 3-fight deal. So it was Hardy or someone of her standard. And then the other 2 champions, and then another fight after that, a defense or a comeback fight after that. So because I couldn't agree with the Harper fight, that meant the whole of the 3-fight deal wasn't going to happen. So if you can't agree on one of the fights for a 3-fight deal, then all the 3 fights are off. So that's basically where we're at now. I wanted more for the Harper fight. The Heather Hardy fight was never going to happen. She already had said on, I think it was Twitter, that you know, she wouldn't even go on a diet for that money. So that was never going to happen. But it was going to be someone of her caliber, which was fine. Was fine with me. I've never complained about the Hardy, the Hardy money. I've never complained about the Hamadouche money when he eventually agreed. I've never complained about that. And then the only one we can't agree on is the Harper fight. And because of that fight, that means the other 2 fights are in jeopardy. So that means the others aren't going to happen because I won't agree to the 3rd one. Do you know, does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you
so
mean.
I just want to straighten that with everybody and tell them the whole story. That is the whole story. It was a 3-fight deal that was offered. I couldn't agree on one of the fight deals. So that meant the other 2 was off. Hamadouche was never ever going to, I was never boxing Hamadouche on the 14th. It had already been taken off the table by the time we'd agreed. I think I said on Twitter that Eddie said she wouldn't be ready. That was wrong. It was already taken off the table though, and instead of that was going to be a Hardy or someone of her caliber. Again, Hardy fell through. It was going to be agreed, but if you don't agree all 3, you're going to agree any of them. So that's where we are, and I just wanted to get that off my chest.
This is the platform to do it, Tasha. But see for yourself. I know you're training hard. I see on Instagram and stuff like that you're always in the gym when you're not with your little one, and you sometimes bring your little one to the gym. Do you know what I mean? To be training at the track days and stuff like that. But for you, I know you've got the best management company in the world and MTK and stuff like that. So what are you hoping for? What kind of negotiations are going ahead? I know that Eddie Hearn's got another, after this weekend's bill, he's got another 3 bills. I think he's got Joshua, Martin Murray, and Billy Joe Saunders, Martin Murray, and Dillian White. Are you hoping to try and get on one of these 3 shows by the end of the year?
As the last word I heard from MTK was on Monday or Tuesday, it might have been, and they said there was no space to be on this year, and that had come from Matchroom. So whether that's Eddie or whether that's Frank Smith, I don't know, but that had come from Matchroom. So I wasn't going to be fighting until next year, and that's all I know. I would love to fight before the end of the year. Who wouldn't? Like Joe's saying about keeping relevant, and that he's thinking of the PR side. I just want to keep active. I don't want to have long periods out of the ring. I don't think any boxer does. I get the times that we're in, and everyone wants a date, and you know, I think what happened was my fight didn't happen. It was easily filled up by someone else, and that's just the chances we're taking at the minute. But you know, I believe in my worth, and I think the Harper's fight worth a bit more to the, you know, especially the British and the British public watching, that it's worth a bit more than the Hamadouche, and that's my main argument, and that's the only fight really people want to see. Not many people, if you don't know about boxing, know who Hamadouche is, even though we know she's the most dangerous. But you know, everyone wants to see the Harper fight again. So for me to ask for a bit more money, I don't think's out of order.
That's the thing. It's the times that we're in and stuff like that. And Eddie's mentioned the budget, and he does have a budget to play with, because we don't have the gate anymore from the crowds coming in and stuff like that along them lines. But are you stepping away from that a little bit? Or how disappointed are you and not being on that sort of all women's card with Katie Taylor and stuff like that on the 14th of November? Are you disappointed, or is it just water off a duck's back for you?
I'm disappointed. Obviously, it's one of them big events for women's boxing, you know, that I could have been a part of, that I'm now not. So, you know, there's a lot of history making in my career throughout boxing, and you know, to be a part of another one would have been amazing. But I just don't let myself get bogged down with it. I try and stay positive, because there's like enough negativity in the world without boxing adding to it and being that one bit more. And so I just try and keep positive about it. If a date comes, I'm going to be ready, I'm going to be fit and all that, and, you know, get my mindset right. It's took me a long time to do that, so I don't want to revert back to, you know, being disgruntled and being, you know, back in that mindset. I'm in a positive place. I want to stay there.
Definitely. There's history with you. Everyone wants to see the Terri Harper rematch because maybe a majority of people thought that you won that fight when it was a draw, but people do still want to see you against Katie Taylor. Do you know what I mean? The Olympics, and that was your fight with Katie Taylor when you both turned pro has been going on for maybe 3-4 years now. That we talk about you two, maybe even longer. So, I mean, Katie's always looking for an opponent. So, are you hoping?
I'm always available.
Are you hoping maybe getting that fight, Terri Harper and Katie Taylor, all going well, stuff like that, 2021?
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna sit around waiting for Terri Harper. If that fight, for whatever reason, doesn't become available, I'm gonna look elsewhere. Whether that's, you know, Broderick, whether that's Hamadouche, whether that's whoever, you know, whether that's Katie, whether that's going up in weight, it doesn't matter. I just can't. I haven't got the time on my side to be sitting around waiting for, you know, these young'uns to decide that they're ready to box me and stuff. But it is what it is.
I know how
I'll just move on.
But the thing is, as well, like I mentioned the gate there, and Eddie's mentioned that he's got a budget from Sky, like we said, and he has to work within that budget to obviously get the fighters' purses. Now, Hamadouche fight is obviously a good fight. She's the most feared woman. But do you think that you maybe need to take that world title, maybe do what you need to do, what you did with Terri Harper, take that world title, then you've got a bargaining tool to raise your purse or to ask for more money? Is that sort of like what you need to do for your career?
I suppose so. To be fair, I don't think I need to do that just because of the way the British public have received the fight. I don't think I need to do that. But like I say, I want to be a world champion. I wanted to be a WBC world champion. I thought when me and Joe had, you know, studied and done our homework, we thought that Terri was winnable. And you know, I think on the night we half proved that. And then the same with Hamadouche. I think Hamadouche is beatable, and I'm not going to just sit around waiting for WBC fights with Terri. So if she, like I said before, if she's not available, I'll just go to the next one, and I'll keep knocking on the doors. Whether that's, you know, Maya who wins out of their little scrap, whatever it is, I won't just keep waiting around because I haven't got the time to do that. I just go wherever the titles are, whoever's got them, that's who I want.
I think it's safe to say then, Tasha, that you'll be hoping that Katie Taylor and both Terri Harper win their fights against Katrina and I can't remember who Katie Taylor's boxing again.
Gutierrez or something. I can't say it.
Miriam. Well done to you. I think you're sort of still rooting for them because that obviously keeps them winning with them titles in their hands, and it still makes a bigger fight with yourself, doesn't it? Yeah,
to be fair, like, you know, the same that people, I've got no issues with any female boxer, whether that's, you know, Sav, Hannah Rankin, whoever. Like, I just want them all to do well. There's enough titles out there for everybody to win and for everybody to eat and for everybody to do well and, you know, and make a name for themselves. And I like no difference with Terri Harper. You know, there's been back and forth and whatever, but you know, I was in favour and support of Terri Harper before our fight, and I'll be in favour and support of her after. It doesn't matter to me. It's like, you know, go out there and do the best you can, be the best you can be, and I encourage anyone to do that regardless of whether they're an opponent or not, just not against me.
I don't wish them well when they're fighting you.
Just not against me.
Definitely. Just talk to you about women's boxing in general. I mean, during that fight camp with Shannon Courtney and Rachel Ball, your fight with Terri Harper, do you know, we've got young Scotty coming through as well. I mean, you've got Savannah Marshall against Rankin for the world title as well. I mean, women's boxing, not just domestically here, but globally, is producing top fights, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, you know, a lot of people are surprised, and I've said this before, but we always knew how good it was. We just needed the world to see it, and I think the Olympic Games in 2012 opened people's eyes to that. You know, people wanted to follow their careers up to 2016, and it's the same. You know, there's some top amateurs out there, and they're coming through and winning the top pro prizes. And I think, you know, once this, well, 2021 now Olympic team turnover, they've got the option, and that's, you know, people have got the option whether they want to stay amateur, whether they want to go pro, and you know, get world titles. And there'll be a whole new flood of influx of amateur fighters, class elite amateur fighters that'll come through, and that's what we needed. Everyone was, you know, moans about, you know, depth in the sport and you know, whatever, but once it'll take us a few cycles to gain that, because for many women it wasn't an option. There wasn't the backing of big promoters, of, you know, sponsors, of anything. So it wasn't, you was working, you was working and boxing, whereas, you know, now there is that chance to become a full-time professional athlete, and there wasn't that before. So yeah, it's a great time to be involved, and unfortunately for me, it's probably nearer the end of mine than the start.
You see, you're a young. I think you're 36, but I shouldn't say that about a woman. But you're a young 36. Trust me, you are. Just stepping away from boxing, and just now, I've noticed that you've been doing a lot of work for the community as well. I've seen your Twitter and your Instagram and stuff. I just talk to me a little bit about that and let everyone know what's going on.
Yeah, well, basically, obviously there's been a thing with March of Rashford, and, you know, he was campaigning for free school meals. The government decided against it. Now, us being Scousers and loving the Tories, we opened that with open arms. Obviously not. Yeah, no. So, you know, there was a big uproar in England. They give us tier 3, meant gyms shut. And a lot of people stood and protested and got the gyms open. Now, me and my family, we are, you know, we're a very sporty family. We're all near enough, all of us like got some role in the gym environment and in the gym industry. And when we got the gyms back open here, it was my brother really that was like, right, they stood with us to get the gyms open. Now what can we do to help? And, you know, obviously the holidays were coming. There were kids going to go without food. So we was like, okay, you know, we won't give anyone any criteria. As long as you're between school age of, you know, 4 to 16, you can come along. We'll get a free boxing session going. And, you know, within that boxing session, there'll be meals that you can take and go home with. So kids will get something to do and something to eat. And it wouldn't be of any cost to the parents. So yeah, that's what we did. My cousin got a meal prep company, Body Health Kitchen, and he made the meals. Me and my brother does MMA, he's professional MMA. So we done boxing and MMA sessions, and we've done 3 down, 1 more to go tomorrow. Well
done. Well, I applaud you for that. That's absolutely brilliant. And I've seen a little bit on your Instagram, so I just wanted to get a wee bit more input from yourself and what was going on. But I definitely applaud you for that. That's absolutely amazing, Tasha. But again, jumping back into boxing then, finally, before I let you go, just, you got any final words for Terri Harper, Katie Taylor, and anyone else for next day on the 14th in 2 weeks' time?
Good luck. I hope you do well. I hope to see you soon, whichever one that may be. If you're looking for a bout, I am here. If you've got the belt, I'm coming. That's it.
There you go. That's a perfect way to end this interview. Tasha, again, congratulations on everything you're doing for the community.
Cheers, thank you.
And I hope you get that big fight again soon. Yeah, you definitely deserve it. So thanks for doing this for FL TV, and we'll catch up with you soon.
See you later. Thank you, and thanks for the support.
No problem at all, Tasha. See you later.
See you soon. Bye.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.